Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm back, and today we're going to be doing a preview of the NHL playoffs. Yes, the NHL has been off for 5 months due to the coronavirus, but they're coming back on Saturday, August 1st, and they're jumping straight into the playoffs. Unfortunately, as you can see, I'm a huge Kings fan, but they didn't make it, but they have a bright future coming up. So either way, I'm still a huge hockey fan. I personally believe the NHL has the best postseason format, and not just format, but just the overall competitiveness. It's unpredictable. Usually the best team doesn't necessarily win the Stanley Cup, and I think it's just the best postseason in all of sports. But yeah, let's jump into it. So the format's going to be a little bit different this year. The way it's going to work is now there's 12 teams in each conference that are going to be making the playoffs. So normally it doesn't happen. It's usually the top 8. But this, because of everything that's been going on, they're doing it this way. So what's going to happen is the top 4 teams in each conference are going to play in the Eastern and Western Conference. Will be playing amongst themselves to determine how the seedings are going to finish from 1 to 4. Then from there, you'll have 5 through 12, 6 against 11, 7 against 10, and then 8 versus 9. And they're going to be playing in a 5-game series. And obviously the winner from there will play the top 4 there once the seeding is all done there. So to not keep the top 4 from being rusty, they decided that they wanted to play against each other to kind of figure out the seedings, just so they're warmed up as well, and not just the teams 5 through 12. So first I'm going to break down the Eastern Conference, and then we'll go into the Western Conference, and we'll do my predictions and seeing how I think, who's going to come out of there. I'll try to give the games, though. I usually just pick the teams, not necessarily how many games they'll win in, but listen, we'll do that. All right, so in the Eastern Conference, you have Boston was in first. Second is Tampa Bay. Third was Washington, and fourth is Philadelphia Flyers. Now, going into it, the Flyers looked like they were the hottest team. Boston actually has been the best team during the season. I think actually the top 4 will stay that way. I think they'll play amongst each other. Boston, I don't think anybody's going to catch them personally, so I think they'll finish first in the conference. And so I think that's just how the seedings will go there. So the first series that you have is the 5th seed, the Pittsburgh Penguins, against the 12th seed Montreal Canadiens. Now, Canada's desperately seeking a championship. They have not won since 1993, when the Canadiens beat my Kings, unfortunately, in the Stanley Cup Final. So they're desperate to get a team to there. Unfortunately, the Canadiens aren't going to be the team to do this. The Penguins have too much experience. They've won multiple Stanley Cups. They have Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, which is a fantastic 1-2 punch. I personally believe they'll win. I would say probably in maybe 4 games, but they will advance. Like I said, I just don't see. And the Canadiens were kind of struggling as the season was progressing. I mean, like I said, if it was a regular format, they wouldn't even be in. So I think the Penguins will pull that series off. So the next series you have is the number 6 Carolina Hurricanes against number 11 New York Rangers. Now, this is my upset pick. The reason why I think this will be an upset is they're pretty even on paper, I think, and the Rangers were, they were getting better as the season was progressing. I mean, you still would have had time. I don't know if they would have made the playoffs in the AC format. It's very possible. But I think the edges, and they're very even, and the Rangers have beat them 3 times during the regular season. I think what's the edge will be, even though they're kind of close, is the Rangers have superior goaltending. And if you're not familiar with hockey, goaltending can make a huge difference. So I believe that the Rangers will actually pull this upset off. I think they'll win in probably 5 games. But that's the first upset I picked. There was a couple, I think, but that's the first one. Next one you have is number 7 New York Islanders against number 10 Florida Panthers. I think the Islanders will pull this off. I think they just have more talent, more depth. I don't really trust Florida that much. But yeah, my pick will be the Islanders. I think they'll win about in 4 games. And the next one will be number 8 Toronto Maple Leafs against number 9 Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, that should be a fun series. I think it'll be a tough, hard-nosed series. The Maple Leafs, they've been doing the right things. They're trying to get back into the glory days that they used to have. So I think they will beat the Blue Jackets. I think it'll be a tough series, but I think it'll go all 5 games, but I do see Toronto edging it out. So that's my picks for the Eastern Conference. Be on the lookout for that. All right, now in the Western Conference, the top 4 teams were number 1 St. Louis, who are the defending Stanley Cup champs. Number 2 is the Colorado Avalanche. Number 3 is the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and number 4 is the Dallas Stars. Personally, I think it's going to stay that way as well. Colorado, it could be the one team that could possibly catch St. Louis, but I think the Vegas and Dallas are too far behind. But I think it's going to just stay out that way. All right, so then we'll jump into the actual. So like I said, they'll be playing also as well, just kind of get warmed up and figure out the seeding. But 5 through 12 got the toughest part. So the first series I'll be going over, I actually think might be the most intriguing one. It's the number 5 Edmonton Oilers against the number 12 Chicago Blackhawks. Now, if you're not familiar with the Chicago Blackhawks, they won 3 Stanley Cups in 5 years, and this wasn't that long ago. So they still have that core group, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves. So they still have that core group. So they know what it takes. They know what it is to win the Stanley Cup because they've done it. But Edmonton's on fire. They have a bunch of young players. Craig McDavid is amazing. This guy's on another level. I mean, he could be the future, I think, of the NHL. Personally, I think they will pull this off, Edmonton. I think the youth that they have, the fact that they have been playing so well during the season, I know it's been a long layoff, but I think they have what it takes. I think they will knock off Chicago Blackhawks. Like I said, even though it's not really an upset, it's just because it's the youth versus the experience. But I give it to the youth in this one. Now, my next upset pick is the number 6 Nashville Predators against the number 11 Arizona Coyotes. I can't call them Phoenix, as even they used to be. I think the Coyotes will actually pull this off. They were playing well. They just got hit by a huge injury bug. I think now they've been, like I said, they've been playing very well. You see, this is a team I think that is actually destined for the future. They've been making the right moves. They have a young team, but I actually think they will pull this off. I think they'll pull off this upset. Say it'll be a tough series. It'll probably be like in 4 games, but I think it'll be a tough series. But I think they will pull off. That's my other upset pick. The next one is also going to be an upset pick. It's the number 7 Vancouver Canucks against number 10 Minnesota Wild. I don't trust the Canucks. Let me just put it to you this way. I know they've kind of retooled, and they're trying to make after the Sedin brothers retired, but I just don't think they'll pull this off. I think Minnesota was playing better than them, so I personally believe they will. I think they will win. Be another close series, but I do think the number 10 seed will finish that off, the Minnesota Wild. I think maybe in about 4 games. The next series I'm going to be going over is number 8 Calgary Flames against number 9 Winnipeg Jets. Now, actually, that'll be a really good battle. They are very evenly matched and everything. But I think the Jets will pull this off. I think they'll go they'll probably win it in 5 games. Personally, this will be a great series. I think all of them will be great series, just because, like I said, if you're not familiar with the NHL, I would highly recommend it. It is the best sport to me outside of MMA, like in terms of team sports. It's the most exciting. It's fast. It's physical. And like I said, it's just the most unpredictable postseason. All right, y'all. We'll go over more predictions and everything as the rounds progress. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace.